Howdly doodly, every pony. We are going to be talking about free for all today. Just a kind of a drama stream. I'll be looking at tweets. I wrote up a doc every day that I went home from the convention. I came home and I wrote down some notes about my thoughts for the day. At the charity auction, I got this bitchin' hat. Yes. It's, hell yeah, brother, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's going to be, it's kind of boring. Not going to lie to you, not a lot happened. There was not a lot happen. I went into it with a big expectation that there was going to be huge fucking drama, but there was none. There was no drama. Now, on Twitter, there was big drama, but IRL, basically nothing fucking happened. Biggest disappointment of the century, for sure. So, I figured let's click on over here and take a look at this doc real quick. I'll read it real fast and answer questions. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I don't know why this window is so small. There it is. Okay. So, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that none of this is on the record. Nothing in this document should be construed as an official statement, as this is what I remember from candid conversations among congoers, staff, and the police. This is simply a recounting of my experience of free-for-all because there appears to be a lot of interest in it. See Clout-Farming. That is basically what we're doing here. Clout-Farming. Yeah! When I first went to free-for-all, I don't mind scrolling my own timeline publicly because I know that there won't be any porn that shows up. Okay, so when I originally went to the convention, I was expecting a big protest. That's what people had told me was going to happen, that there was going to be a protest of the event. So when I showed up, there was nothing going on. It was kind of dead. So I ended up not streaming it. So anyway, the TLDR of day one was the vibe felt castrated among congoers. The police respond to an alleged threat on the event, and former staff of Tails and Tornadoes FurCon says Free For All is not a revenge con. So I had arrived around 7 p.m. after finding a babysitter because I found that there was no minor badge option. So I couldn't take my kid with me. So I had to go rectify that situation, which is why I arrived so late. But that's fine because I met with the staffer I had been speaking with over email about doing a comedy show at the convention. He explained his thought process on why he rejected my show. Too many bestiality jokes, which he felt would strain their relationship with Safari Sanctuary. There was only one $50 option for at-the-door registration, and no one checked my ID, which was weird. I even offered my ID, and they were like, no, don't worry about it. Here's your badge. I was like, well, all right then. So that was kind of weird. I went into the game room. There were two tables. One was security, and one was standard furry convention card games like Magic the Gathering and Cards Against Humanity. In the center of the room, there were like 3 or 4 console games, and in the back was a paintball-style Nerf course. About 7 or 8 Glenpool police officers were in the game room, and I happened to know one of them. They were a former co-worker at the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office. The officer said that they had received a report that someone from Antifa had threatened to shut this shit down. The Glenpool police were warned of a potential protest at the event as well, so law enforcement was on alert. A reporting party did not provide a description of the suspect nor an approximate location, so officers walked around the premises for a while and then departed. At least one officer was present at the convention from then on. So wait a minute, satirical humor about animals and furries is rejected for damaging the relationship with the charity when that same charity brought a turtle to the con. It was weird, not gonna lie, considering all of the drama and all of the controversy surrounding Safari Sanctuary, that they would be super, super worried about my comedy show, which was, I don't know, the point of doing the comedy show was like, and this is what I told them in email, was that I'm just trying to be edgy. Like, I just, this is supposed to be a free speech event. So I was like, okay, let's let's do some free speech then. Let's see how crazy we can get with this. And they rejected it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I talked to one of the staffers about that same things, and we'll get there. I counted only 37 Furry Raiders armbands so far. I don't know if there was that many. I think there might have been a dozen, maybe, that I saw. So I talked to convention security mostly about music, and then moved on to see what else was happening in the con. Disney karaoke was underway in the main events, and I simply couldn't handle it, so I went outside. It was really bad. Okay. I spoke briefly with a fursuiter that I saw at Wild Nights, and we discussed cosplay ideas unrelated to fursuits, as well as our shared distaste for TikTok. Now, I noticed a general distaste for Twitter. Literally everyone brought up how much they did not like Twitter when I spoke ill of TikTok. In the game room, I spoke to a Glock enthusiast and an acquaintance that I knew from furry conventions and fur meets from several years prior about guns and trucks for a long time, and then I went back out on the con floor. The dance was starting, so I began asking fursuiters to participate in my fursuit tour video. There were about a dozen fursuiters out on the con floor, and about half of them did not want to participate. This is a huge departure from the norm, as furries are usually very eager to participate. Most of them were polite about not wanting to participate, and I didn't ask why or press in any way. I didn't go, why? Well, why don't you want to be in the fucking fursuit tour? I didn't do any of that shit. I just said, okay, that's fine, and then I moved on to the next one. Usually when I go to furry conventions, especially like if I were to take Furry Week in Atlanta as an example, when I went to that convention, I filmed over 300 fursuits, and there was like maybe one or two out of the 300 that were like, no, I don't think this is for me. The rest of them were like very eager. They really wanted to be in the video. Some people actually sought me out and were like, oh my God, you're the guy from TikTok. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, can I please be in your video? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? And so that was weird, that they didn't want to participate. Make your assumptions as you will. I'm not here to affirm or whatever. So the dances started, and it was very difficult to get people to go inside. I went to different people outside main events, tried to hype them up, then direct them inside. I passed out glow sticks and generally went around screaming, open up this fucking pit! But hardly anyone would catch the hype train. I tweeted a video of the dance and lamented how the convention felt kinda dead. That's this video here. Because that was it. It just felt kinda dead. Now, when I had originally shown up to the convention, it was to catch this protest that was supposed to happen. I was just there for the drama. And contrary to what this moron said in chat, that Stallion, next you want to video furries, be honest about why you're there. The satire you posted is not funny and is angry at others. Stay mad. This is what I do. I don't care. I super don't care. I just don't care. I just want to make absolutely certain that you know I don't care. Be flat out honest with people next time, if there is a next time. I was honest with people. I told literally everyone there. I had no qualms about admitting I'm here for the drama. I heard there was going to be big drama, so then I said, Stallion does it because you say he can't. Pretty much. That was kind of the vibe. So I tweeted this video, and it got 1,200 likes, which is crazy because my normal interactions are like 5 to 10 likes at most, right? That's my average. So when I got this much attention from it, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm definitely staying the whole weekend because we're going to clout farm the shit out of this. I was like, there's a lot of interest in this convention and like seeing it from the inside. I had a couple of replies in here. Yeah, see, look, on day one, I was completely and totally honest. I had to see if the drama was going to be as big as they said it was going to be. I was honest from day one exactly why I was there. So I don't know what the fuck this moron is on about, but stay mad. I don't care. Okay, so I did that. I tweeted the video, and I realized it was going to be a huge Clout-Farming opportunity. So I already paid my $50, so I was like, fuck it. I guess, this is going to be easy clout. So I went ahead and just stayed the whole convention and went back every day. The convention was like right down the street from my house, so I literally would just go home at the end of the day. And I would sleep in, usually till like noon, and then show up at the convention at like in the afternoon. So anyway, at this point, I felt like I had accurately gauged the vibe of the convention. It felt like it could be summarized in one word: castrated. And the reason why I use the word castrated is like, you know how if you have a dog that's like really rambunctious and like causes trouble and whatever, and you cut their balls off, and then they're just like chill, but they're not like chill. It's more like they're sad. That's kind of how I felt at the convention. Like they were just kind of sad. Like a lot of people described the convention as chill, but it didn't feel chill. Like we were all just relaxing. It was like more just scared of letting go, of just having fun. It really sucked. Basically, no one wanted to be on camera to make content or let loose at all. The congoers that I brought this up to dismissed it as being day one of a brand new convention. They're like, oh, it's just day one, jitters. It's a big controversial con, that kind of thing. It did seem like congoers felt more like they wanted to appear a certain way and be highly controlled about their perception. And so, I don't know, it was just goofy. Anyway. Side note, on day 3, I spoke to someone that was at the dance, and I mentioned that I was a liberal, and they said they could tell. This was somebody that was making jokes about having sex with someone's service dogs is not funny in the slightest. I doubt you are going to find any love during the next year's event. I certainly fucking hope so. Listen, it's funny. It's funny. I don't care who you are. That shit is hilarious. I think bestiality jokes are like the last bastion of edgy humor, because a lot of people, like, it's not that people are sensitive, it's that people like you are retarded. That's the problem. I think it would be great if we could literally make like racist jokes without having people going, well, actually, you're right, black people are fucking like inferior to white people. Like, that would be great if people didn't take it seriously. That would be the thing. So anyway, yeah, okay. So I met with a friend from years ago who frequented fur meets, and we got caught up on spark notes of our lives since we last saw each other from like 8 or 9 years ago. I was surprised to hear that he had gone from an Obama supporting Democrat to Trump supporter, Trump voter, but not supporter. The way he described it came off to me as like he was a Trump voter but not a supporter, in the same way that somebody might be a Biden voter but not a Biden supporter. That's the vibe that I got from him. And I know him pretty well. He's not like one of those people that would lie to me like that. So I'm going to take his word for it. Another friend from way back, a guy who got me into volunteering for the Community Food Bank of Northeast Oklahoma, was a staffer for the convention. As the dance came to a close, we went outside to talk. The staffer told me that around 145 people were registered for the event, pre-registered and at the door on day 1. I asked him about the purpose of the convention, and I told him the going narrative on Twitter was that the convention was started as a way to draw attendees away from Tails and Tornadoes. He assured me that it was not a revenge convention. From what I gathered, it was a convention for those who had disassociated from the broader furry community because of the overwhelming presence of leftists in the fandom. So that was another goofy thing to me, is that the apolitical convention was almost entirely made up of like Republican furries that were upset with leftists. So, make your assumptions as you will. That's just my feelings on that. Anyway, he said that disagreements among con staff, it happens every time. He said that disagreements among con staff, mostly unrelated to the actual conventions themselves, occurred at Tails and Tornadoes and Wild Nights furry conventions. I did not ask about the nature of the disagreements, which caused a schism that resulted in the removal of controversial figures such as Peace Wolf and many others from staff positions at those conventions. He said that the canceled furries started a Discord server, and as their numbers grew, the idea of starting their own convention became free-for-all. He said it was not started as a response to cancel culture, or as a statement against those who had canceled them, but rather it was a convention for those who had been banned or otherwise socially attacked at other conventions, presumably for what they saw as frivolous reasons. What I noticed among attendees is that they would refer to themselves as the canceled, but a lot of these people, I say a lot of these people, with the exception of like Foxler and group, most of these people weren't literally banned from conventions. They were just like, removed from staff positions, or they had been attacked online. That was basically it. And while I sympathize with that position, because after going to this convention and documenting it, as people have called it, they can call it documenting because it makes it sound like important or whatever, when in reality I was just there for the drama. I was literally just there to clout farm. I actually don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. This tiny little convention is not going to farm enough clout to do anything really at all. So anyway, so I'm there to document it, and I've gotten thousands and thousands of mentions and interactions on Twitter that are all positive, and there's about 15 to 20 shitheels that are like up my ass about it, being like, well, you support everything that was there. You are only as good as the worst person in attendance at that convention, and that kind of stuff, digging into my tweets, trying to character assassinate me, like, but just to keep in mind, this is only like 15 to 20 people. Negativity bias is a bitch. But like 15 to 20 people being shitty, somehow in my brain, this is why I sympathize. Somehow in my brain, these 15 to 20 people are sticking out to me and just like stick in my head and just like anger me so much. But I'm just, for some reason, I have to like intellectualize it and think there are thousands of people being very positive about this. Don't focus on the 15 to 20 shitheels. Don't do it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So, I guess what I'm getting at here is that the free-for-all people seem to be overreacting to an extreme minority of people that are actual like shitheads, that are legitimately fucking pieces of shit. So we talked for a long time about Twitter, the general state of the furry fandom, the evolution of furry drama, and politics. The evolution of furry drama being like poodling drama from back then. 2 angry incels were mean to me on Twitter. I'm canceled. That literally, that's how people react. That's like literally how people are, especially at this con. It was kind of disappointing. I was expecting a lot more, but anyway, just as Skullbuster said in chat, it was the biggest disappointment. So I left the convention at around 0100 hours with plans to meet back up with them at IHOP at 0830, and I didn't make breakfast due to a family issue. All the performances sucked. Of course they did. Yeah. So the TLDR of day 2 was all the performances sucked, and the venue was fairly empty most of the time. I arrived at 1 p.m. just in time for the Bitcoin Furs panel, which I did not attend. I met with my staffer friend who was on door duty. Apparently they had received further threats on the event, and so they went to badge-only status, where they were watching the doors, and the only people that were allowed in had badges. So they were on badge-only status at the behest of the venue. I met with another friend, and we discussed having a jam session later. The other friend that from years ago that I was talking to the day before. And that ended up happening without me. I ran home for my guitar and ended up having to like air up my girlfriend's tire to get her to work and stuff like that. So it ended up happening without me. So anyway, I checked out the dealer's den. I talked to some of the dealers, and then my way back to the panel room to briefly see the snakes in 2 Griffins snake appreciation panel before going outside to find people to talk to. Real quick note that I didn't write down about the dealer's den is that there was a plushie dealer, the person that was selling plushies, and this person was accused on Twitter of having fuckable plushies there. And so I was like, I'll check it out. I went back there and I started picking up plushies and looking at them to see if they had holes in them, and none of them did. But I just thought it was funny. I was like, because if that was true, I was totally gonna buy one, right? I went and got this hat. Like I was seriously trying to just gather as much stuff. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I love it. So anyway, the variety show was almost 100% dog shit. The exception was a guy doing a karaoke of a song called Chacarron by El Chumbo, which was really, really funny. It was legitimately funny. It was a really good one. Where is it? It was actually funny. Here it is. Oh no, I have the wrong speakers up because I don't have my headphones on. But yeah, it was really funny. loud. My bad, guys. I'm not paying attention to the sound. But yeah, I was trying to hear it through my headphones. That was funny. I thought that was a really good performance. He nailed it, okay? I think that is objective fact, that he nailed that song. It was really, really funny. So that was good. The fursuit dances were like, just, this guy's performance was like this, highly interpreted, but it was like 9 minutes long. It was so long, and it was just this for 9 minutes. You know, like, at least the candy corn dude, he was a little more lively. Oh yeah, a lot of people are criticizing him because of the song Bangarang. I think it's funny that he used the song Bangarang because the theme of the convention was back to our roots. They are imagining a state of the furry fandom from that era. Yeah, from 2010. It's exactly like, what I think is funny about the back to our roots thing is that it's exactly like Make America Great Again. You know, where they have this imagined history of the United States that existed in the 50s when it just wasn't, that never existed. Whether there was just no, it just didn't exist. There was no overwhelmingly apolitical furry fandom because we're adults, and so we talk politics sometimes, and it's just goofy. So they want to go back to the time that didn't exist, just like the MAGA people. Anyway, so after the variety show, I went home to get my guitar and help my girlfriend to get ready for work. That was what I was talking about earlier. I went back to the con, and they were setting up for the guest of honor dinner. I took a video of the venue, talked to some more people, and was bored out of my mind. That video is... Oh, yeah, this was the guest of honor dinner where somebody did a head count. What was the head count? I can't remember. Somebody actually went through and counted everybody. And I don't remember who it was. I might have blocked them by now. There's a lot of people that were really supportive, but I run a bot on the account that blocks all communists and shit like that. And so so if you've got like a hammer and sickle or like anarchist or ACAB or any of that dumb shit in your bio, then you get blocked. I just don't have any interest in talking to you ever. So this was the venue. And this was going on at the same time as this. So probably around, I don't know, it was like 40 people or so were in the guest of honor dinner. But to be honest, the venue looked like this almost all the time. Every once in a while there would be an event going on, and around 50 or 60 people would be congregated outside main events. But other than that, nothing. There was like nobody around. It was very difficult to find people to talk to, things to do. It was boring as hell. As I said here, a mid experience. I posted that venue walkthrough post in a few places. Cool, good. It was really, really boring. Then the Two Griffin set was on, I can't remember what day it was, but anyway. Oh, I'm getting to that next. Okay. There was basically no one on the con floor, and the fursuiters were almost nowhere to be found. I presume this is because, and this is a presumption, I presume this is because I didn't know any of the conservative furries. Like, I'm not in good with that group, so I didn't get invited to any room parties in the neighboring hotel. Thanks, Obama. So, my biggest wonder is how they'll use the silent majority deflection now, knowing how many right-wingers rejected to come and outright said the idea of free-for-all represented it absolutely ridiculous. I see what you're trying to say. So, Dashcon vibes. That's going to be actually a criticism that I have of the response on Twitter, is that let's go back real quick. The ball pit was clearly and obviously a callback to Dashcon. Like, that was the point of the ball pit. And so people taking it seriously on Twitter and saying that, oh, look, it's a failure. You can see this ball pit. It's stupid. Haha. It is it just falls a little flat to me because I think the point of the ball pit was to say was a satire on Dashcon specifically. So let's go to I went outside and hung out with a group of smokers, getting some of that sweet second hand. It's been I'm gonna check super quick just because this is important to me. It has been 73 days since my last cigarette. It's a nightmare. It sucks. It's impossible. Every single day I want to go back to smoking. It's unbelievable, but it's so goddamn expensive. Anyway, so for some of this sweet secondhand, we talked through the improv show, which was I was entirely uninterested in even giving a try. I didn't go to the improv show. So at 9 p.m. was Two Griffin's comedy show. This set was 1 hour long, and he had not prepared, and it was very obvious that he had not prepared. He was just up there riffing. So Two Griffin riffed about how he was canceled and talked about how people didn't like America anymore, and he also lamented the existence of the gay pride flag, which I'm pretty certain he was talking about the progress flag, because the gay pride flag is this rainbow one, and I'm pretty sure he was talking about the progress flag, but somehow he got that mixed up because he has yes, Two Griffin Griffin 2, you were the first. So because he's made videos complaining about this flag. So yeah, he's made videos complaining about this flag, so I assume that he was actually talking about the progress flag, not the gay pride flag. I don't know why he mixed those up, but that joke fell flat, and I think it's probably because he wasn't talking about the right thing. Anyway, as I said, his set was clearly unprepared. The show was, in a word, awful. I expected a lot more from a professional headlining performer. He actually literally sat down, checked the time, and looked at his phone several times during the set. I actually couldn't believe it. Like, he would sit down. Here's the video, just a brief video. I had my phone sitting on a table, and he would sit down and check his phone, and he literally said the words, "All right, I'm checking the time." Like, what the fuck is this, dog? Are you serious? The professional headliner that people are speculating that he got an appearance fee. I seriously doubt that he got an appearance fee, but what in the fuck? Are you out of your mind? I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I left the venue soon after, before the dance started, and went home for the night. Just as a side note, I posted a video of the entire set on my other channel, and there was a couple of jokes in there that were okay. I think one of them was really funny. He was like, "This bar serves my favorite drink, which is called a lot," and that was funny. He had a couple of zingers, but for the most part, it was dead. He bombed so hard. Didn't he literally say, "I don't know what else to talk about"? Yes. Actually, like 2 or 3 times. Okay, what else? What else can I do? What else is there to talk about? Like, I don't know. It was just the most awkward, bad crowd work I think I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure the guy from the variety show did better crowd work. The guy at the variety show just did worse jokes. This guy had 3 jokes in a 10-minute long set, and he did a lot of trying to convey to the audience information that everyone already knows. He did a joke about The Purge, which has lots of potential, but the whole lead up to the joke was like, okay, so there's this movie called The Purge. You guys ever watched The Purge? It's this movie that came out a couple years ago. I've watched it a couple times. So like, it's this idea where, and I mean, it was like, what, dude, come on. So it's okay to bomb because he's very, very new. But my point is that he did better crowd work than 2 did, which was really, really disappointing. But anyway, further, just some random shit post. Oh, I did my fursuit tour. TikTok is super fucking mad about it. I don't care about TikTok though. Whatever people on TikTok think of me, it's all true and worse. I just don't care about you guys. The TikTok is a special breed of fucking psycho. So anyway, the furry raiders emblazoned with Nazi aesthetic armbands were in attendance. And I want to stress this Nazi aesthetic because that is what it is, okay? I think I tweeted about it here. I'm going to have to go find it real quick. I said shitting in the open street, I'm pretty sure is how I tagged it. Armband. Oh my god, latest. Because I tweeted an image. Oh my god, why is it not? Hang on. Now I'm unprepared. Look at this. Shitting. These armbands are equivalent to shitting in the open street. There it is. He said, oh, that's right. I remember now. Okay, so let me bring it over here. This guy, Diesel Raccoon, said, I do not understand all this trashing of free-for-all. Do these people actually think this is some kind of con intended for Nazis and fascists? Is this con really that much of a threat to you because it's challenging other cons by staying out of this cancel culture shit? And I said, do these people actually think this is a con intended for Nazis and fascists? And I'm like, well, to be fair. Hi, this is Campion. I think everyone appreciates you getting unaltered footage of the con. I appreciate that. I've been, a lot. I had literally hundreds of people, I think even 1,000 at least, people in my mentions asking for specific footage or asking specific information, and then I would go ask and whatever, and that's what I ended up doing. So I said the armbands. What did I say about the armbands? I replied to there it is. Okay. I said these armbands are equivalent to openly shitting in the street. I don't care what statement is being made by doing it. If the convention allows it, they're going to be known as the convention that is okay with people openly shitting in the street and nothing else. Which just, come on. So, because my biggest complaint about these people is that they just deny reality. They deny what this is perceived to be. And I got kicked out of Facebook groups, furry Facebook groups in Oklahoma, for saying this, for saying whatever. So who's canceled now, right? I'm just saying. Where I'm like, it's clearly modeled after a piece of a Nazi uniform. That is the point. His name is fucking Foxler, okay? It is clearly a portmanteau of Fox and Hitler. Obviously, that's what they're going for. So when people deny that, it just frustrates me so bad. Just fucking own it. Just be honest. Jesus Christ. That shit is fucking frustrating. Anyway, so that is what it is, and anybody that says otherwise is literally lying. They are not they're not delusional. They are lying. They know what it looks like, and when they deny it, they are actually just lying. Because it's just that obvious. Anyway, I understand that they cowardly deny that these armbands obviously look like and will cry about being perceived as Nazis if anyone makes that connection that the raiders are clearly trying to make. The administrator of the Oklahoma... I mentioned it here. The administrator of the Furry Oklahoma complained aloud while we were outside main events that she was receiving backlash for posting a group photo with them. They're just furries, she said, and that is all that is required for entry. Just apply him to art school and he's defeated. Apparently, some people were uncomfortable with it and figured no one was going to do anything about it. So, I intended to write more about this. Just came home. Okay, who am I supposed to ban? Speak up. Am I quiet? Okay. So, who am I supposed to ban? There's nobody yet, but I appreciate you moderating chat because I expected more idiots. There was only one, but he didn't break any rules or wasn't a huge shithead or anything. He was just accusing me of being dishonest. So I was gonna say more about this, but then I didn't. So the Oklahoma furry people had kicked me out of the group because of the armbands thing. Apparently some people were uncomfortable with it. Oh, that's what I meant to say, is that staffers had gone in were seemed to be unaware that the furry raiders were actually going to be there. And this is kind of a complaint that I have about messaging online. Thanks for documenting the con. I'm trying to make a video essay detailing why it failed. Let's see here. Where's Buddy? I saw Buddy in chat. A little bit biased. I'm assuming you're talking about me, and yes, I would say that I am biased for sure. I met a few people who really wanted to enjoy the con, but were upset that the Armband Raiders became the highlight of Twitter's mind. That is the consensus that I arrived at, is that most people seemed to believe that either the furry raiders were not going to be there, or that it was overblown. So they said it was an apolitical con, which most people did not seem to believe that it was actually an apolitical con. Most people seemed to believe it was like CPAC for furries, that it was going to be a Republican event, that it was a conservative event. And so when the Twitter lefties start calling it FashCon, when they start saying that it is a fascism convention, it was interesting. I had heard that the Raiders were staffing and were working closely with them. That is true. They funded like 20% of it. Now, I don't know if the Raiders funded the convention in an official capacity, or hi, not sure if my chats are going through. If you use certain words, for some reason, YouTube automatically deletes them. I don't know why. America first. Yes, that's basically the thing, but not really, because that's like a Nick Fuentes thing, and he's like an actual Nazi. So IMO, a bad batch of apples should ruin the entire venue. The con was supposed to be anything goes and anyone is allowed, but the Raiders always take the spotlight. With good reason, honestly, because if you allow those people in, as I said, if you're running a convention, the people that you allow in, it's going to say a lot about your convention, a lot about your venue, especially when they're on staff and they're banning people from Facebook groups like me for saying anything about it, for saying that these people are shitty. So anyway, the point that I'm getting at is that lefties online call everything fascist. And so I can understand that, like, there are conservative furries who are like, I'm going to go to this event and it's going to be a good deal and whatever, and it's just going to be a Republican type of thing. So they're going to this with that in mind. And so when they see lefties screaming about fascist con and screaming about fascism, the general consensus is that, well, they say fascist at everything. So they didn't take it seriously. And that makes sense. Because, like I said, they really do just think everything is fascist. So people don't take it seriously. Let's see here. Hi. Oh, there we go. I see it on the stream. Yes, Raiders are involved in funding the convention. Look for footage of the opening ceremonies. A Raiders admin got a plaque for donating 20% of the cost. Yes, that was the candy corn K9 guy. Donated 20% of donated 20% of the cost of the convention. Now, I don't know if the furry raiders, what is unclear is if the furry raiders were funding it through Candy Corn K9, or if Candy Corn K9 is just out there on that grind and actually has money like that. What was it like seeing the furry raider bands in Confederate suit in person? The high-res picture of Foxwell hugging the Confederate guy is surreal. It was uncomfortable. Because, like, I had this desire to go and ask him about the armband, to see if he would just admit to it being modeled after a Nazi armband, but I knew that he would deny it. So I was just sitting there in this limbo of, like, should I ask and actually waste my fucking time, or should I just ignore his existence and go do other stuff? You should talk about all the Twitter crazies attacking the Animal Sanctuary Foundation. Because that is, I think I get into that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I did. So Safari Sanctuary was totally and completely fine. Everyone was okay with Safari Sanctuary until this convention, and then all of the accusations started to come out. And then But this is all old news. This isn't anything anyone didn't already know. It's just reframed. So Safari Sanctuary was a good thing. Everyone was cool with it. They have been the beneficiaries of convention charity for literally like 10 years. All the furry conventions in Oklahoma were donating to these people. And then they were going to be the beneficiaries of Free for All. And then now suddenly they're bad. And which is really, really stupid. Super stupid. I understand that Safari Sanctuary has like some controversies around it, and that they don't do things perfectly and whatever. And I just don't care. I just super don't care. I think everybody that's freaking out about it are doing a guilt by association thing, that are saying that Safari Sanctuary is bad because they are fascist now, or that they're fascist supporters or whatever, which is not really how it works. Like, let's say I wanted to raise money for the Community Food Bank of Northeast Oklahoma. If I were going to do that, and if I were to make hats or like pins or whatever to sell in order to raise money for this organization, then I would make MAGA hats. I would make pro-Trump stuff, because Oklahoma is literally the reddest state in the entire country. I'm not going to look it up right now. You can just take my word for it. But every single county went red in 2020. We have 2 red senators. The only other state that went completely 100% red in 2020 was West Virginia, but they have Joe Manchin. So Joe Manchin is a Democrat. So we beat them just ever so slightly, as being the reddest state in the entire country. So if I were to raise money for an organization, I would be making MAGA hats. People would interpret that as me being a MAGA supporter, but if the goal is to raise money for the Community Food Bank of Northeast Oklahoma, I'm going to make MAGA hats. That's just the way it goes, because raising money for the organization is more important than how lefties on Twitter are going to interpret that. I can sympathize with Safari Sanctuary in that. Let's see here. Guilt by association should be the new con name. Like I said, though, I don't know if you were here for that earlier, but it's like 15 or 20 shitheels that are like, that don't care about what you did, what you say, what you believe. They don't care about anything. If you are tangentially related to this convention in any way, then you are a bad person. That's only like 15 to 20 people. I don't really have that much experience with like a lot of people being super shitty, but that might be just like my unique position. I don't know. I might have like a point of privilege there or something. I don't know. Anyway, so day 3, the charity auction was fun. The closing ceremony was cringe. And finding out the event was funded by one of the armband people. Oh, I was finding out that they were funded by the armband people. I didn't know that until the last day. Are you saying there are good people on both sides? No, I am not saying that. I am not saying that. I'm not doing the both sides thing. I think that conservatives are just delusional dipshits. I don't like believe anything they believe. I don't agree with anything they believe. They're just so annoying. But I live in Oklahoma. Most all of my friends are conservatives, because that's just the nature of living in Oklahoma. And so it is what it is. You know, I can understand their positions a lot better because I'm around these people more. I still disagree very vehemently with everything that they believe. So anyway, yes, apparently some attendees are upset that the Raiders were there. That is the feeling that I get. Anyway, I arrived at around 3 p.m., missing the cancel culture convention, which was undoubtedly fucking retarded, just in time for the charity auction. It was a lot of fun. The host, Drew, I don't remember his full name, like Drucifer or something like that, was funny and kept the event entertaining and kept things on track fairly well. I got into a short bidding war over a Twilight Sparkle plushie with the candy corn canine, and I come to find out that he simply let me have the pony because the guy dropped some serious cash on the convention. They were selling the banners that were outside of different events, and they were and he bought one for like $700. It was crazy. According to staffers at the conventions, he funded about 20% of the convention and then subsequently dropped well over $1,000 in the charity auction on various items, including one of the free-for-all welcome banners. So I have a baseless conspiracy theory. We'll get to that. Remind me of the baseless conspiracy theory that I have about free-for-all after the doc. Does the pony plush feel soft against the skin? No, it actually doesn't. I was kind of disappointed in it. Because, like, I have somewhere around here, I've got some of the 2017 movie plushies, and they're, like, super soft, very velvety. This was a fourth dimension plushie, and it just isn't as soft. I don't understand. Anyway. I was asked via Twitter if the Furry Raiders had funded the convention directly in an official capacity. The short answer is certainly not. The long answer is no, but it is unclear if Candy Corn Canine is on the grind making the big bucks on his own, or if the Raiders had funded the convention together and used Candy Corn as the mode of delivery. Non-soft pwn plush, what's the point? I know. But I wanted it. I did not have a 10.5-inch Twilight Sparkle plushie. I've got all the rest of them, not Twilight. So I was like, I need this one to complete the collection. Even though it's a different set and a different brand or whatever, I now have all 6. So that was all that was important. The charity auction was over at 5 p.m., and I went out on the con floor and talked to an attendee about furries on Twitter, our shared distaste of the armband people, and the possibility of people losing interest due to the presence of the armband people and being associated with them. There was a surprising number of people unwilling to defend the Raiders. Now, I was like really, really late. I had stopped writing here on day 3, and then I went back and I wrote all of this. This might be a schizo post. I can't remember. So, but that was kind of the thing that seemed to be the general attitude, was that there were some people that were like, okay, I didn't think the Raiders were actually going to be here. I didn't think the armbands were going to come out, because whether or not they want to readily admit it, the armbands are a political statement. And the convention really actually did try to stay as apolitical as possible. That's really a thing that they actually did. There was one of my friends wanted to do a fursuit dance, and he said that it was going to be of Christian influence, and they told him that he couldn't do it because it was going to be perceived as political. So I think that if any political event was going to go on, that was going to be allowed by, in my perception, would be allowed, it would be a Christian influenced dance. But they didn't allow it because they curated the events to try to be as apolitical as possible, not necessarily the attendees or the things they were wearing. So anyway, literally everyone I talked to lamented the existence of the armband people at the convention. I wondered why the fuck they were even allowed into the convention if they were so widely condemned, and it turned out that they were footing a large portion of the bill for the convention. So the consensus was that the conservatives who become furries feel like they're being pushed out of furry spaces because the average furry seems to believe that Bernie Sanders is a center-right liberal, so anyone to the right of him is literally Hitler or something. Not only that, but furries seem to treat the entire fandom as their own personal friend group, so they can't see being friends with someone. So if they can't see being friends with someone, then that person needs to be excised from the fandom entirely, not just their personal spaces. Now, I most certainly wrote all of this while I was being quote unquote canceled by those 15 or 20 people I was talking about earlier, where they were like, if you went at all, it doesn't matter what you believe, you support them, period. And I was really upset about them. Negativity bias is a bitch. So, for example, Peace Wolf is a bog standard Oklahoma Christian. I didn't say Christian, but Peace Wolf is a bog standard Oklahoma conservative whose private political ranting account was exposed and blasted via spicy furry takes. The takes that were called out were not extremist shit. I didn't know who Peace Wolf was or anything about her, but the takes that were called mask off, there was nothing mask off about those tweets. I put a link here, and I'm pretty sure that it was to the thing. I'm pretty sure I'm blocked. I'm blocked, yeah. So I'm pretty sure my alt account is also blocked. Let's find out. My Zoophile GOP account, yeah, it's blocked as well. But as you can see, I'm honest confused. These seem like standard dumb fuck conservative memes. I don't see anything mask off about these tweets. Is there a broader context I'm missing? And if you need any more like confirmation that I know what I'm talking about, is that Wootmaster even agreed with me. And Wootmaster is really fucking crazy these days. Really super crazy far left nowadays. So yeah, there's that. I wonder if I can... Here, let's just look at an incognito window really quick. I don't know I don't know if I can even... Can I stream it? I know I can't screen cap it. It won't let me because of security or whatever. And let's see if it will let me. There it is. Okay. So, they're trying to change amen to amen and women. How do we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead, and then we ask him for forgiveness. Let's see here. I stand with Gina Carano. That was that... I can't remember what that drama was about. The sheer amount of virtue signaling that companies are doing nowadays is absolutely fucking nauseating. It's sickening because it's so obvious that they don't actually care about whatever they're rallying behind. Get woke, go broke. Common sense is controversial. If people can't control you into doing what they want with your platform, they will try to destroy it by deplatforming you instead. Do not let them silence you. You will still have a voice. Best part about being canceled is once you're over the line, you no longer have to worry about tiptoeing around all the eggshells. Seriously, it's possible to be 100% safe from the angry Twitterati mob. Just accept your fate and be unapologetically you. You'll be happier. What's the problem with these tweets? They are standard conservative memes. There is nothing mask off or fascist or whatever about these tweets. This was the first time I heard of Peace Wolf, and it was like, really, guys? Are you out of your fucking minds? Seriously? I won't be able to see the quote tweets, but yeah, this is the kind of stuff. But like I said, it's a very small group of people. Just block all of them. You know, that's what I have literally like 10,000 accounts blocked on Twitter, and it has just made my life so much easier that it's really not that hard. Okay, so let's go back to the doc. Okay. So the attendees at the convention that I spoke to enjoyed the idea of a conservative furry convention. And let's not delude ourselves, that's what it was. Whether you want to admit that or not, if you want to keep up the idea that it is an apolitical convention, you're just wrong. Everyone seemed to understand that it was going to be CPAC for furries. Like a safe space from leftist harassment, and that is why they went. Most of them didn't know that the Raiders were funding 1/5 of the convention. They didn't know that the Raiders would be out and about with their dumbass little armbands. You can say that they should have known better because people were calling it FashCon or whatever, but as I explained earlier, with the word fascist doesn't mean anything anymore. If you tell these people that it is a fascist convention, or you see a leftist proclaiming that they will block any and all attendees of free-for-all because that means you support Nazis, this is a song and dance that they've heard 1,000 times about a big giant fucking nothing burger. Big giant fucking nothing burgers. So I think it's entirely reasonable for people to dismiss everything leftists have to say about it. And I stand by that. I'm just correct. If you disagree, you're wrong. That being said, I'm hearing from various furries in attendance that they want, at the very least, the armbands banned from the convention. I would agree with them that the Nazi-esque armbands are a political statement made in a way that they do not want to be associated with. Many more of them would ban furry raiders entirely, and of course, I fall into that camp more than the former. But I'm not a conservative, so my opinion on that means exactly dick. The funny is, if you turn it around on these people trying to cancel you and expose how quiet they were about the whole snake thing fiasco, it'd be suddenly okay when they do it. The hypocrisy disgusts me, and I'm glad I'm not a furry. Yeah. Sometimes it was just like when I had made a tweet. I accidentally sincerity posted on my bait account. I'm not going to... I can find it really quick. I accidentally sincerity posted on my... on my bait account, and it wasn't that long ago. I should be able to find it pretty easy. Okay, wait, hang on. At Zoophile GOP, 10-year-old. I think that should pull it up. There it is. It's kind of crazy how silent the predator hunters have been about the literal child rape case in which a 10-year-old was impregnated by a 27-year-old. National news outlets have been calling this little girl a liar, and none of these people have said a fucking word. So that's just going to be something you see, that if it's easy to attack, that's what they want to attack. It's all about low-hanging fruit. It's not about actually protecting people. It has nothing to do with anything other than clout farming, which, I'm being totally forthcoming about what I'm doing here. This is clout farming. I don't have a problem with clout farming, but I just hate that people are dishonest about it. It's just like my problems with the furry raiders, where it's just admit it. Like, just be honest. Fuck. I digress. I went into the closing ceremonies where 2 Griffin and Peace Wolf were pied in the face because they raised $8,000 for Safari Sanctuary. I have a baseless conspiracy theory about this. And they announced that Cabs and Jay Fasone were guests of honor for Free For All 2023. The question that everyone wants answered: was this convention a complete and total failure? No, it was not. It was not a blowout success that some attendees were saying it is. It was not the abject failure that others are saying it is. FanCon 2012's attendance was just barely over 200 people, and they raised less than $2,000 for their charity in a city with $750,000. They raised $2,000 for their charity in a city with $750,000 people in it. Free For All barely beat that in a city with less than 15,000. FanCon ran for 8 years, skipping the COVID year, so I estimate that Free For All is probably here to stay for a long time. Furry Raiders announced a few days before the con that they were helping staff and were attending, so their presence was fully expected. There's a lot of infighting about it. Well, a lot of people don't pay attention to Twitter or the Furry Raiders. I don't expect people who are not fans of the Furry Raiders to pay attention, that's basically it, is that I don't expect these people all to pay attention. A lot of people are not terminally online losers like this guy. So I knew, but I didn't expect, I think that it's a reasonable expectation to say that most people wouldn't know. So anyway, I get the urge to side with the Furry Raiders in response to all this leftist bullshit in the furry fandom. I really do. But now that you've got your convention off the ground, it's time to ditch them. They know the armbands are perceived as Nazi shit, even by normies, so when they wear that shit to your convention, they're trying to make you look bad, to isolate you further until you're the only ones they have. You'll be defending their little armbands like, it's not what it looks like, it's actually just, and then you lose everyone that isn't some crypto-Nazi. Someone else's experience that I might read and pretend to care about at some point. I don't know, let's look at it. Why not? So I wrote this when I was really super deep into my negativity bias. Like I said, there was like 15 to 20 people being absolute shitheads, and I was like, man, I was feeling like the free-for-all thing was kind of justified because of these 15 or 20 people. But then I got to thinking, I was like, there's like 2,000 people that are being super cool to me in the replies. So I don't know why I'm focusing so much on this tiny little minority of people. So I would probably say that this was a schizo post. I probably wouldn't back that. Anyway, I probably wouldn't stand by that. I'd probably, bro, relax. You're doing okay? Thanks, bud. So anyway, this was, I can't remember who wrote this. I'm queer, yeah, on Twitter. This person, they made an alt because they said, I think that they wanted to not be. They wanted to protect themselves from harassment because they went to the convention, which makes sense. I don't know if they mean harassment from the Raiders or whatever, which I don't know, or lefties, because they just kind of whatever. Anyway, we'll get to this in a second. What did you say in chat? It happens. Internet pisses everybody off sometimes. True. I think that was a minor they discussed attending with parents. Okay, let's see. My family is more on the poor side, so we never travel out of state. My parents would never pay to go to something like Anthrocon or anything like that. So when I saw a Anthrocon was happening a few hours away from my house, I had deemed it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and convinced my parents to take me to Tulsa to spend 2 days at the con. I'm pursuing a career in art as a furry artist. Oh, no. I figured it would be a good opportunity to promote art while I was there and maybe get some commissions. Oh, no. Please do not put your eggs in that basket. They're 20, and the convention doesn't allow people under 8. Oh, yeah, it's true. They don't do minor badges. That was a thing that was weird. But they didn't check people's IDs. That was really weird. Okay, so anyway. Beforehand, I'd only researched con and fursuit etiquette. For reference, I did not own a fursuit, what to bring and how to act. I did know that about two griffin beforehand, so I made great care not to interact or buy anything from him. Knowing this, I still wanted to go because I have never gone to a con before and I've always wanted to go to one. This was my biggest mistake and regret. Before I continue on to my experience in the con area, I would like to remind everyone that about my inexperience with cons, and I did no prior research about FAFA 22 before going. I did not know who was going and what things they have done. With saying this, I do not support FFA 22 in any way, not its founders, not its staff, not its purpose, not its attendees, and not anyone they ally with. I'm absolutely disgusted from finding out what went on after I left. After reading the FreeForAll22 hashtag, I regret spending my money there, and I promise to do my research before going to another con. So the kid is being blamed for just wanting to make friends and not knowing what exactly is going on with that convention. Well, I don't think they are. I think that they see what happens in the lefty spheres, and they don't want to become like one of the people that get attacked. They want to make it clear that they're not in support of the convention, even though they were in attendance. Which there were quite a few locals there. There was quite a few locals there that seemed to be entirely oblivious. They saw the American flags and stuff like that, and they thought, "Oh, cool." I had heard about this. I've been hearing a lot of sympathy for them. Oh yeah, you're good. Upon my arrival, there were very few cars and a lot of police officers outside the building. So we probably arrived at around the same time. My initial thought was at least it was safe with police officers there. I was very much wrong. Not only was there no security at the entrance, I never once saw a single member of law enforcement on site. Well, then we didn't arrive at the same time because there were like 8 cops deep in there. Almost all the responses to the thread were positive, supporting from what I witnessed. Good. My mother and I had arrived late for on-site registration, but asked to register when we got there in hopes of there being a grace period. They allow us to register. When we paid for registration and began looking around the con, not once did they ask for mine or my mom's government-issued IDs, which was part of the rules to do. We had also arrived during the time where there was nothing happening at the moment and based the lack of attendees on that fact. So we decided to leave and come back later. When we came back at around 5:55 p.m. before the dealer den closes and decided to buy a few items. They had a reptile stand, so I decided to walk over and see what was going on. Please note, throughout this entire time, I never touched or picked up any of the items/animals in the dealer's den without asking the table's owner's permission first, and only did so when they said I could. Okay. I was pretty content with the interaction, and they were extremely nice and allowed me to hold their bearded dragon after noticing it hadn't moved since I walked over to the table. I was absolutely flabbergasted with how cold the bearded dragon was, and never moved. I don't know how they could say they felt unsafe. It was a city hall with cops patrolling the halls all the time. Yeah, that's weird. Because there were when I was there was, if they said that they felt safe with cops there, I don't know. It was weird. There was nothing happened. So, okay. Anyway, we were at the cold part. We were at the part where they said the bearded dragon was cold. Wherever that was. Occasional hill tilt. After we were done at the dealer's den, we moved on and saw the gaming with 2 griffin was going on, and only attendees with premium passes could enter, which we did not have because we did not support 2 griffin. So we decided to enter the game room to hang out until 7 p.m. At the entrance to the game room, the staff decided our backpacks were a security issue and said they had to hold on to the bags while we were in the room and put them in a flimsy shelf that looked like it was about to fall over. My mother and I played a board game and finished and decided to head to the panel room where the Lion King trivia was taking place. The bag check thing, they had like postcards with numbers written on them. So like if you got like the number 6, then they would pin a number 6 to your bag, and then you would carry the number 6, and that's how they did bag check. That's weird. Anyway, my mother and I played a board game, blah, 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 blah. Note that the building's still quite empty, which was my experience as well. So anyway, my mother had noticed the lack of security. I'll mention again, the entire time that we were in the building, there was never a police presence. I don't know what they're talking about. They must not be paying attention, because there was, after day 1, I talked to my friend with the Glenpool Police Department, and they said that they had somebody posted at the convention for the whole weekend, because they believed that there was going to be, quote, Antifa that was going to, quote, shut this shit down. Like that was what the Glenpool police told me. And then there was already somebody there. There was like a short sergeant that was there, and then a lady. And my buddy was out doing his own thing. Anyway, so it made her uncomfortable, and in turn made me uncomfortable, so we decided to leave and return to our hotel room. After returning to our hotel, I decided to hop on Twitter to see what it was, if there was any talk about the con because of the lack of people, and boy, was I in for a disgusting surprise. After reading through the people who went after I left, being told the staff were furry raiders, there were zoophiles and Nazis there. I was absolutely horrified and heartbroken. I am absolutely shocked about everything, and I promise to do my research before going to another event like this. The post is to explain my experience at Free For All 2022 and why I went. If anyone would like to use this tweet for any research sources, they are free to do so. Do not have to credit me. This post is not to attack or harass anyone in particular, nor is it a cue to go and to attack, harass anyone. Made for educational purposes only. Some of the cops had some real cake, too. I guess. I don't think any of the cops were like particularly attractive, except for my friend. My friend is a very attractive man, but he's taken, I think. So I think that's about it. Let's see here. What the fuck is? Oh, this is my bait account. We don't need to dive into that right now. So yeah, there's that. I don't think there's much else. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. I don't really think I have much else to say about it other than it was just kind of boring. I expected and was I was hyped up to see some drama, and I didn't. I saw zero drama. Let's see here. What did I say?
Oigan, desde que empecé a ganar dinero, la verdad, no les voy a mentir, vivir en Corea es un poco difícil, entonces trato de no ganar.
So, boring sums it up, but next year there will be a much bigger turnout. I don't know. I don't know if that will be the thing. I don't know if it'll actually, I don't know if it will grow, because from what I understand, there was a bunch of people that were like legit upset that didn't realize the real drama is the friends we made along the way. True. There were some people that were like legitimately upset to find out that the Raiders were there with their dumb fuck little armbands. And that to Griffin getting on stage and saying that you guys are now all canceled and you guys are now banned from all the other conventions and we're the only ones you have. It was like saying the quiet part out loud. It seemed to be, because that seems to be what they want. They seem to want to lock people in and be like, we're all you have. And that is goofy to me. Isn't that like the whole point? Like, isn't that a new business model confirmed? Isn't that, yeah. Is that not a, like part of grooming though? I want to say that's an element of grooming. I'm not using that word to like try to like stir up some bullshit or like make accusations or whatever. But like, I'm drawing a parallel. Is that whenever you're trying to groom someone, I guess for those of you who want tips, if you're trying to groom someone, you gaslight them, right? You try to make everyone out to be the bad guy. They are the bad guys. I am the good one. I am the bastion of truth, and you come to me for what is true and what is false. I'm not a bad person. The people saying I'm a bad person are bad people, and so on. So then you isolate the person, and that's essentially grooming, right? Is that not how it works? I don't know. The raiders, including 2G, is 2 Griffin a raider? I don't think that's true. I don't think he actually like is a raider, as far as I understand. I think that he said that he was going to promote it quietly maybe once. Wait, 2 really said to everyone you're canceled and banned from all cons now? Yes. I'm... Okay. I won't... Man. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Never seen that.
I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken. But in his full set here, which I have not rewatched, I'm not saying he's with the Raiders. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me try your message again then. The Raiders, including 2 Griffin, are just a bunch of edgy nerds / misfits who do these edgy things because they know they'll get a riot a lot of people. Okay. I totally understand what you're saying. But here's the thing. If you are doing something because you know it will make people mad, isn't it at least slightly retarded to get upset when people get mad? Is that not kind of stupid as fuck? To be like, why are you guys getting mad when I'm going out of my way to make you mad? Why are you getting mad at this thing that I'm doing specifically to promote or to provoke anger? Like, it's stupid. Your parents are lying to you, but you can trust me, though. Grooming in a nutshell. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of what I'm saying.
Germany was fun as well.
I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been closing ceremonies. When he's... No, it was... Where was it?
Lots of beers. This guy.
I think it's toward the end.
What is the third law of great drama?
It wasn't this one.
That right? Hey, I'm always a...
No, it might have been during closing ceremonies. I can't remember what it was, but I'm... You're not screening the share? Oh, my bad. Here, we'll go to that screen. Oh, wrong screen. There we go. I'm pretty sure it was either during his comedy show or closing ceremonies, and I don't think I filmed all of closing ceremonies, but he got up there and he was riffing off of the crowd, and somebody said, oh wait, that's right. He said it was during the giraffe thing. This the third law of the giraffes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was going to make... I didn't have any copy material tonight. Came in...
Yeah, that's the truest thing he said all night. I don't know if you heard that.
Hope you guys had a lot of fun.
Wait, where is it?
I came in.
He said...
But I'm very sorry. I didn't have any comedy material tonight.
I didn't have any comedy material tonight. I just came out here to talk to you guys, which was the truest thing he had said all weekend, I swear to God. I was so fucking pissed off. I was like, what the hell is this? So anyway...
So what is law number 2.5?
What was it?
Oh, man. So what is law number 2? From Great Giraffe.
That's it. He said, become uncancelable. I don't think he said it here, though. I think it might have been during closing ceremonies. Let's continue.
Become uncancelable? You know what? I kind of disagree with you. I kind of disagree with that. I think everybody should just get freaking canceled. Cancel all of us. Hey, if you uncancel yourself, that means they can try to cancel you again. Once you cancel, can't do it again, right? Cancel everybody. Well, if you've registered to be here, you're already canceled. You guys know that, right? We're all canceled. I'm double canceled now if there is such a thing.
Well, he didn't quite say it as clearly as I said he did, but that was, essentially. If you've registered for this convention, you're already canceled. And so that comes across to me as this is your only convention now, by the way, that you cannot go to other conventions. You are already canceled because you've registered for this convention. So he did not as black and white as I had said earlier, but that was him saying it. Wasn't that being said as part of his satire performance? No. It wasn't a satire performance. You can see, like, I just had played the clip where he had said that he didn't bring any comedy material. He'd just come out to talk to people, and it was clear that that's what he did. It's an interesting mentality. I'm seeing the idea of once you're canceled, you're free. More or less, the thing that I have a problem with is that when people say this, that once you're canceled, you're free, it's like, what have you been holding back? You know? I don't care. Like, whenever I get canceled or whatever, it's not like I have opinions that I've been holding back that are suddenly now allowed because I've been canceled. It's just like I say a thing and then I get canceled, which getting canceled to me is when people run off with something that I've said and they're completely off in left field about it. So I say, I don't think otherkin is a part of the LGBT. I think the otherkin is more akin to a religion, I guess, or like a spirituality, but I don't think it has anything to do with like LGBT stuff. And this gets filtered down and spread all across the internet of Stallion Slaughter fucking hates trans people and he wants all of them genocided tomorrow. And he's actually literally trans Hitler himself. He wants all trans people to be killed immediately. And that to me is cancel culture, right? It is essentializing something that you've said in the worst possible way. And that's what I'm saying. So, but it doesn't mean that I'm free. Now I can be as transphobic as I want to be because they said that I was transphobic. You hate me every single time we stream music? True. No. It's hard. Is it hard to just attend a normal convention and not go schizo over politics? Most people don't even bother at each other at cons to begin with. That's also true. Actually, really good point. Super good point. Everyone knows that when you go to conventions, and I've seen people say this on Twitter, that when you go to conventions, nobody cares. Like, the things that happen on the internet stay on the internet, and then when you go to conventions, nobody bothers you about it. I have never once in my life ever seen anything. Like, sometimes you'll get banned from conventions, like that Foxler dumbfuck gets banned from conventions, or whatever, or you might get removed from staff positions because you have a more intimate relationship with the staff there, and they're like, we don't want to work with you anymore. And it's like, whatever. And then, so his two Griffin's comment about how he was saying his shirt, because it has an American flag on it, represents capitalism, that he's a proponent of capitalism or whatever. And that's cool. So am I. I think capitalism is pretty sweet. The thing is that all of the discussion about canceling and people getting mad about canceling, that's capitalism, baby. Hello. Conventions mean you are at a convention. You meet genderless, sexless, political compassless, nationless, or whatever folks. You just have fun. That's the purpose of the convention. True. Not true, though. I understand that you're being satirical there. My thing is that everything is political. Literally everything is political. Everything exists within a cultural context. Every single thing ever has something to do with politics, period. That's just a fact of life. And people who try to deny this are delusional. Political, to those people who are like, I'm apolitical. Politics is whatever I don't like. I disagree with this thing, therefore it's political. Conventions you were at the horny. That's very true. Not true at Free For All, but very true. Because Free For All was super boring. But like Furry Weekend Atlanta was ultra horny. Fucking Anthrocon was ultra horny. Midwest Fur Fest, ultra horny. Like, there are very horny conventions. There are very dry conventions. This one was super, super dry. Holy shit. I meant that a convention is nothing else matters outside of the convention itself. That is kind of true. That if you are allowed in, most people just avoid you. If they don't like you, they just avoid you, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, they might cry about it later on Twitter, but nothing ever happens at the conventions. It starts on Twitter like, I don't like this person. Then they go to the convention, they see that person, they take a left turn, they don't even see each other, no talks, nothing happens. And then on Twitter later, I felt unsafe because this person was at the convention. The purpose, like what I'm getting at, is that nothing actually happens at the convention. It's all on Twitter. Maybe you're speaking mostly about furry cons, but from my experience with brony conventions, it's basically what I said above. I got you. I've only been to one brony convention, and it's about the same. The thing about brony conventions is that it's dry as well. Is that it tends to be people let loose and are a lot more fun. But it also kind of, well, then again, this was a Texas convention. All like, yeah, that kind of sphere of conventions is like that. So what were you saying? Okay, somebody made a really good point, and I was trying to harp on that. Is it hard to, yeah, that, I think that's what I had said. I had mentioned that, that the conventions themselves usually aren't political. They are, it's just what happens on Twitter. And so Free For All was a response to people getting mad at them on Twitter, or like getting kicked out of staff positions in local cons. The thing is that I really do hope that the block lists and whatever, I hope that 2 Griffin here is wrong whenever he says that if you register for the convention, you're canceled. Just like this statement we read, some people just were locals and they saw a convention going on, so they went to the convention. Aren't those conventions famous for being hotel groups doing what they do, if you catch my drift? Yes. Furry Fiesta is another one also. And then the Russian cons are, in my opinion, more or less as bad as US cons. Oh, good to know. But yeah, I hope that 2 Griffin is wrong. Because I have seen some block lists come out that are exercising absolutely zero discretion. That all they're doing is finding out who attended the conventions, saying these people are fascists and Nazis, block all of them, remove them from everything, try to get them banned from conventions and stuff like that. And they're exercising absolutely zero discretion. And I hope that those people chill the fuck out, or that they don't have any influence. Am I just seeing things, or does 2 Griffin look like Derek from the beginning of American History X? I don't know. Let's find out. Derek, American History X. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, this guy. I guess so. I don't know. He's bald and he's got a goatee. That's about it. So.
Try to cancel you again. Once you cancel, can't do it again, right? Cancel everybody. So, well, if you've registered to be here, you're already canceled. You guys know that, right? We're all canceled. I'm double canceled.
It's just funny. I wish I had more footage of closing ceremonies. We'll go back to that. I think I took some video of closing ceremonies. Is this guy responding to me or somebody else? Oh, I don't care what you have to say. I think he's a schizo. That last part is entirely enough for me to block them. Okay, that's fine. After everything that's happened in the past 6 years, you can't vote Republican or be one of those. It's despicable. Okay, no, that's a normal. This is a normal opinion, I think. As long as you're not schizoing out and being like, you are actual Nazis. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I need to stop bringing up the homepage just in case of porn. Where is... I think this is that video that guy was at the beginning of the stream was mad about. but stay mad. That shit was funny as fuck. I don't care who you are. I think this is the only video I took of closing ceremonies, which really sucks because they were so cringe. It was so cringe. Where was... I know I took one video of... oh, no, that's right. They brought in a guy to announce Free for All 2023. Cringe, elaborate more. Okay. I have a video. I'm pretty sure I recorded a video of closing ceremonies, and it was... How did I not post it? Oh, no, I posted it under Sane Furry Struggles. Sane Furry... Unbiased Furry Struggles. I posted it under here. Oh my god, I'm never going to be able to find it that way. At Sane Furry Strug at Slaughter Pony. Pretty sure SoundFX is a porn artist. True. He is. This shit is so cringe. Oh no, I don't want to go full screen. Okay.
You put the reputations of yourself and everyone around you at risk. You're writing checks that your reputation can't cash. You were told to do the safe thing, not be a hero. There's a cancel mob out there that wants to eat every single one of you alive, just for being here. And here you are, associating with fandom undesirables, patriotism, comedy. I have everything I need to have you canceled indefinitely. The reasons known only to the Almighty and your guardian angel, you've been called back. Against all odds, you have distinguished yourself successfully during the Pilot Free-for-All convention, and for that you have been recognized. Whether it is in spite of your recklessness or because of it, you are the best this fandom has to offer. There's a generation of Anthrop fandom fighters out there looking for leadership, and not one other person out there has better proven that they can teach them. And this is going to be right here, next year, hundreds of them, looking to you to teach them the next mission. So as much as I'd love to ground your asses for good, don't you dare think about quitting now. Now pack your things and get out of here, because I want you on the next flight to North Island. You're dismissed.
They played this promo video, and it turned out that it's going to be a Top Gun themed convention, and I had just happened to be wearing... Oh, wow. I just happened to be wearing a Top Gun shirt. I was wearing my Top Gun shirt and this hat. I was incognito, as they say. It was funny as fuck. He thought he was so cool. I mean, my thing is, if you know it's going to be a Top Gun theme, like, you couldn't have rehearsed this better. I was conjuring conspiracy theories in my mind when I saw your Top Gun shirt. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. My baseless conspiracy theory. Okay, so here's my baseless conspiracy theory about free-for-all. We need to go back to videos of the con space real quick. Stop going to homepage. I follow some people that post porn, so I gotta quit doing that. Okay, so we'll go back to the video of the con space and just look. I'm thinking, okay, this is entirely baseless. I'm making all of this up, right? I have no proof of any of this, all right? But let's put on our conspiracy theory hats for a moment.
Dinner is going on right
Let's
now.
mute this. All right. This here convention was probably only populated by maybe 80 to 100 people. But the furry raiders saw this as an opportunity to try to make the claim that they have lots and lots of reach. That they have more reach than they actually have, right? That they're just trying to make it seem like they have the ability to put on a successful furry convention. But here's the deal. They just had the money to put it on, not the people. So they themselves manufactured enough badges, maybe even just buying them or just saying that they had them to say that they had 207, 208 attendees, which was more than FangCon 2012. I think they just bought, the furry raiders themselves bought enough badges to put them over the top to say that 200 was, or to say that they broke 200. And then the furry raiders themselves donated to their own charity in such a number to make it look like they raised $8,000 for charity, right? So they raised all the sunglasses. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat. They raised all of the money they didn't raise the money themselves. They pooled their money together, and then they put it toward the charity. And they also used this money to both fund the convention and also buy like 100 badges for themselves, being like only like 10 people, right? So that is, it's fully in character. They're incredibly, yeah. So they do that, right? So that's how it works, is that there wasn't 200 people there. They didn't, well, they paid $8,000 in charity, but they didn't actually raise the $8,000. It was just $8,000 that they pooled together amongst themselves, right? So they have the monetary power to pull together some cash, but they don't have the ability to actually organize people. So they made it look like they could, right? So that's my baseless conspiracy theory, that the convention was actually an abject failure because they artificially pumped up the numbers, right? That is the conspiracy theory. So yeah. You guys have fun with that one. I don't care. That's about it, I guess. I don't really have much else to say about that. What other stuff was? Oh, I meant to. This is a normal, or I'm just gonna say this is normal IMO. So there's that. I don't think there was anything else. How was the smell? It wasn't that bad. They seem to shower regularly. Fursuiters are actually government assigned animatronics to spy on the furries. Yeah, there was almost no fursuiters there. They took a big group photo, but like nobody was out suiting almost the whole time. And it was really goofy. That was really interesting. That there was like, the convention space looked like this all the time. It was crazy. Jesus, hot! It's hot in here. My air conditioner's broke, and it's like 100 degrees outside. I really want to know where all the suitors went. They seem to just vanish. Right now. True. It was crazy. When I first arrived, I expect to see a couple. Buddy, I think actually you might have been one of the first fursuiters I saw there. I think all the rest of them were just like gone. It was insane.
Football pit.
How few fursuiters were there? Why do you think the people acted weird about being put on camera or castrated, as you put it? I think that it was what people are assuming it is. It was very cliquey groups sticking to themselves, and I think you're correct. I'm just not in good with any of the conservative groups, so I wasn't invited to room parties. That's what I assume. But people acting weird about being on camera, like I had no idea who the Crusader Cat was. I had no idea who that guy was, so I asked him to do the fursuit parade or the fursuit tour, and he was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And then there was like a large, really robust woman with like a wolf head suit or wolf head on, and she didn't want to do it. There was a couple others. It was most of them said no.
Bag check.
And most people didn't want to be on camera, and I assume that it's because of all the drama around this, which is funny to me because
Nerf course.
The idea of the convention was that they were so very proud of this convention, that they're really proud of all of this, right? That you're just going to be yourself and we can be proud of who we are here in this space. But then they didn't want to be on camera. They don't want to be publicly identified as having attended or anything like that, which is weird to me. I'm like, if you're really actually proud of it, why are you trying to hide it? Why do you not want to appear on camera? That's just the weirdest thing to me. So I would assume that's because they don't want to be identified as being there because they don't want to get canceled. The hashtag uncancelable is quite afraid of being canceled. I don't know if I actually expanded on the capitalism thing earlier, but like somebody had mentioned about To the Ranting Griffin not being allowed to perform at like Anthrocon and whatever, and he was upset about that. And I was like, welcome to capitalism, baby. Like, Uncle Kage's got to protect his brand. So he does what he can to protect his brand as much as possible. To the Ranting Griffin was a very controversial figure. So they were like, we're not going to allow you to perform anymore because we don't want you directly associated with the convention because you are driving people away. So in order to maximize profits, we have to disassociate publicly. And To the Ranting Griffin wasn't having that. He's very upset about that. So he's a proponent of capitalism, but then complains about capitalism and like the downstream effects of capitalism. I don't know. That's really, it's just the stupidest fucking thing. Okay. The guy is going to go schizo. In just my opinion, Kage actually makes me laugh. He's much more witty. I honestly don't know anything about him. I want to say, oh no, the consequences of my actions. True. Oh my God. I'm going to be honest, every canceling I've ever had, I've always earned it. I always felt like I earned it at the end of the day. It's like being punched in the face. Okay. There are two types of people. There are somebody who gets punched in the face and they think that the other person is such an asshole, they should have never done that, it was the worst ever, blah blah blah, that's the whatever. I'm the type of person that every time I've ever been punched in the face, it's kind of a wake-up moment, you know? I have never once ever been punched in the face and didn't immediately think to myself, okay, I'm kind of being a dick. Like, I sort of brought this on myself. Now I have to fight this guy, and I sort of have it coming. Obviously, there are whatever. I'm mostly joking there, but like at the same time, that is kind of what canceling is like. Is when you are provoking somebody to punch you in the face, and then getting mad when somebody actually punches you in the face. It's perfect until I get affected by it. That is, yes, literally the way they seem to do it. A lot of capitalist proponents don't understand the effects of mid to late term capitalism. True. I think the mid to late term capitalism is a tired meme, but because I just don't think it's actually going anywhere or doing anything. But the people don't seem to understand that you're voting with your dollars, and you have to. You're essentially voting with your dollars, and you have to present yourself in such a way as to maximize the number of votes you're getting, which is why politicians act the way they do and say the things that they say, because they're trying to maximize the number of votes that they get so that they can stay in office. That's the most important thing to them. Just like corporations, the most important thing to them is getting as much money as possible. And you know, that kind of thing, which is why like leftists and like the trans stuff and rainbow capitalism, as people call it, is actually good. It's actually a good thing. If corporations are behind you, even though this support is totally and completely empty, it is an indication that your movement is actually making waves and is more popular. It is safer to co-opt the LGBT or whatever, in order, because it gets you the most money. That is an indication of holy shit, of cultural trends, is looking at what corporations will co-opt. In 2016 or something like that, it was the alt-right pipeline. It was being against the woke, right? In 2016, that was the major cultural zeitgeist, was anti-woke, right? Or anti-SJW, that was the thing. Anti-SJWs was what brought in all the money. So that's what everybody was doing. And that's what amassed shitloads of money. Now the trend is socialism. Socialism, communism thing is the big, huge trend. So a lot of people are emptily just kind of jumping on that bandwagon, not really even understanding what it means or anything like that, or having any coherent idea of what that means or whatever. And it's really fucking dumb. This Drake Bates guy is a fucking moron. He is a super dumb fuck. He's constantly in my mentions fighting with people. Jesus. So, yeah, I think that's about it. I think I have squeezed about as much as I can out of this as possible. But that's about it. So, yes, we will be back tomorrow for music reviews. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow at about the same time. I know I scheduled this for 11 and I meant to start at noon. I will start streaming tomorrow at noon as well, and we're going to be doing music reviews. It'll be back to the slaughtering. It'll be back to normal business as usual, and that'll be about it. So we appreciate y'all joining us, and we will see you all at the next stream. Bye.